During the mid-1900s, hardwood floors were typically covered with oriental rugs of all kinds.
The Magnificent Montague, starring Monty Woolley.
This is the story of the birth, growth, and evolution of an extraordinary company that would build machines to clean these rugs like never before. Hi, my name is Tom Monahan. 2024 marks the 75th anniversary of the MOR time-saving equipment company, a business Centrum Force was proud to acquire in August of 2012. MOR is a storied enterprise. How did this amazing company get started? It was in the first week in February 1930 when the MOR brothers, Arthur and Greg, decided to purchase a small dry cleaning business. What a time to buy a business, right? With the stock market crash of 1929, the Great Depression was in full swing and people everywhere were hurting for money. There were bread lines and soup kitchens. Against that backdrop, neither Arthur or Greg had ever run such a business. But inspired by the fact that Rome was not built in a day, they kept at it, barely, for about 6 years. Their mark was made as businessmen, and they had developed two valuable traits: thick skin and an abundance of courage. As a result, as the world struggled to emerge from the Great Depression, 1936 started a new chapter for the MOR brothers' emerging business, and day after day, month after month of steady growth. It was during this growth that the MOR brothers discovered the business of rug cleaning.
Hey, good morning. I know you clean clothes, but would you guys mind taking a look at the stain on this rug?
Sure, let's see what you got here.
Man, if we could add rug cleaning to our services, I think we could really do well with it.
I think you're right.
And after all that had happened during their time in business, this was a diversion that looked promising. The first real adventure in this business occurred on the day when Greg MOR, without telling his brother Arthur, purchased a new rotary brush scrubbing machine for $150. Luckily, this purchase proved to be of great value for their new business. Then a few years later, their attention focused on finding equipment that would help automate and accelerate the rug cleaning process. A new plant was built on Sterling Avenue in Elkhart, Indiana, to utilize this equipment. In it, a small automatic washer and conveyor were installed. This set the stage to produce high volume and lots of new sales revenue. Everything was fine except one important thing. The equipment they had found could only produce 10 rugs per hour. For an automated production, this was unacceptable. The kind of production they were looking to make happen was simply not possible. They realized this would never make the new venture profitable, and they were faced with the prospect of a red ink operation. They pondered what could be done. No equipment existed that could do it better. Their situation caused them to conceive of equipment that would furnish a high-speed rug cleaning production line. But it simply didn't exist. They would have to build it themselves. And that's exactly what they did. Build their own rug washing machine. They used this machine to automate and accelerate the rug cleaning process in their own shop. And it worked beautifully. It gave them the production throughput they needed, and that throughput was unheard of in the business. Then, in 1949, Cecil Treadway, who owned Bushell Rug Cleaning, a well-known and beloved company in Chicago, heard through the grapevine about the MOR brothers building an automated rug washing machine back in Elkhart, Indiana. His curiosity piqued, He asked to be shown what they were up to and was invited to pay them a visit. When Mr. Treadway got one look at the automated rug washing machine that they had built, he says, "I want one for myself." He asked Arthur MOR to build it for him, and he did. Karl Heinrich, the present-day owner of Bushell's Rug Cleaning, tells a story about how his company's founder, Cecil Treadway, bought the first copy of the MOR brothers' new fangled machine.
How it all started, one of the companies that I own now today is called Bushell Rug Company. They started in 1903, and the Cecil Treadway family were running the company. They were looking for ways to save money and get more production. They heard of a company that was building equipment for themselves because they were also in the rug cleaning business in Indiana. So when Cecil Treadway heard about this, he went and investigated it and was there for no more than an hour and already said, "I want one."
Look at that.
He says, "This is exactly what we're looking for. This is exactly what we need." Moore was surprised to hear that because he didn't realize he was going to be in the machining business. He was a rug cleaner at the beginning.
And the rest is history. The MOR brothers launched a new firm, the MOR Time Saving Equipment Company, an enterprise dedicated to designing, building, and supporting the finest rug cleaning equipment anywhere. Soon the new company made dusters, washers, wringers, conveyor, and drying room systems, as well as rolling and wrapping machines. And once Bushell had theirs, other rug cleaners quickly lined up to buy their own.
So that brought attention to all the other rug cleaners in Chicago who were looking to do the same type of thing. So they all went to Cecil Treadway's plant, Bushell, and everybody decided to get on board. Some people bought just the equipment of washing. Some people just bought the dusting machines. Some people bought the complete automated dry room system on a conveyor that goes up one end and down the other. Very easily, all automatic. So as time went on, there was, like I said, probably 60 to 70 rug cleaning plants in Chicago at one time, with more time saving his equipment.
The slogan was, "Get rugs more clean through automation." In time, they would supply carpet rolling machines, conveyor inspection floors, and miscellaneous machines to all major carpet mills and showrooms across America. They created designs for more than 50 models of machines that were subsequently built over their storied history. Many of these original machines are still in use today all over the world, 6 continents, and some islands of the sea. The little startup would explode into an international company, making it the #1 rug washing equipment manufacturer in the world. During the company's growth, Ron MOR, Arthur's son and Greg's nephew, graduated from Purdue University with a degree in mechanical engineering. During that educational process, Ron invented the MOR roller jet. This was an innovative machine. All knew that it would wash a rug and wring it out after rinsing it with no brushes whatsoever. Ron filed his first patent at the age of 27 years old. Later, after working with his father and his uncle for many years, he subsequently would become the president and CEO of the company. Let me take you back to the year 2004 when I owned an area rug cleaning company and I was ramping up to do more business, to scale up. I made a phone call to the MOR Time Saving Equipment Company, and the reason I did that, I was looking for a used MOR machine that might be on the market. Well, I engaged in a telephone conversation with Kay Maybe, longtime assistant to Ron MOR. She would get back with me. And that, in fact, did happen. Ron MOR, the owner, and Kay put me on the right path to buy a used refurbished 16-foot MOR Rollajet. It was in great condition. It was in storage in southeast Michigan, which was not far from me, and I was able to make the acquisition of it. The price was right. You know, buying this piece of equipment really marked the beginning of what became a great relationship with Ron and Kay. Throughout the next several years, including 2006, 2007, when I co-founded Centrum Force, Ron and I would often speak on the benefits of his machine, the capabilities, the potentialities, and ideas of improvement. We also talked about the machines that we were developing in Centrum Force. I showed him some plans and mechanical drawings that we were developing. And when we got our patent for our horizontal lug ring centrifuge, I showed him that too, which proved to be impressive to him. We continued to discuss various engineering and business management issues as the years went by. One thing became really clear during those years: Centrum Force and MOR time-saving equipment company really had a strong synergy. We both were about leveraging automation to save time, reduce labor, and increase throughput in the rug washing shops. That synergy really shone brightly. That's why in 2012, when Ron Moore had all but retired and manufacturing operations had stopped, he and I sat down to discuss buying his company. I had taken my foreman down there on site to look at the equipment, and it was at that time that Ron looked right at him and pointed at me and said, "I'm not going to sell my company to anybody but him," referring to me. Well, then I knew we were going to come to some agreement. Frankly, it seemed like the natural next step for both our companies. Ron and I signed the buy-sell agreement in August of 2012. Then, in the following month, September, we decided to make the grand announcement at the Connections Trade Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. So there's other things that can cause it. Hi, I'm Tom Monahan from Centrum Force, and here we are at the Connections Trade Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're proud to announce that we have just acquired, as of August 21st, the MOR time-saving rug washing equipment company. And this is great news for those in the industry that have had these time-saving devices and machines for years, that we will continue to supply parts on a regular basis to these machines to keep them up and running for your company. And we will soon be revealing what machines will be brought back online and sold new, like the MOR rug wringer and some of the other time-saving tools that are used in in-plant rug cleaning and processing. Check our website periodically and you'll see soon what we will be developing for the industry. Thank you very much. We found out how relieved MOR time-saving equipment owners proved to be, to know that somebody would carry the torch for generations to come.
So when I was at that meeting and they announced that they had just purchased MOR's time-saving equipment, I was ecstatic. With Centrum Force taking over MOR's, they're going to be able to bring it up to speed and really take what we have and modernize it, tweak it, hybrid it. I'm so excited.
There was concern in the industry in the last 10 or so years at what are we going to do, those of us that have MOR machines, what are we going to do when we have parts that can't be generically replaced? How are we going to keep these machines running that really are the heart of our business? And so I was extremely pleased to learn yesterday that Tom Monahan and Centrum Force have purchased the MOR company so that the legacy of MOR's time-saving equipment will be available for future generations.
This is a huge benefit to our company and many others. Mr. MOR had been manufacturing equipment for many years, and we were all becoming nervous on where we would get parts, where we would buy new machinery that was of the same quality. We're so fortunate that it's Centrum Force that has acquired it. We hope they keep the same tradition up.
They do have this vision, and they're thinking outside of the box.
And the fact that Centrum and Tom Monahan have made a deal with the MOR company, and they've got the technology and the skill and the parts and all the heritage to put all this equipment back together again, I think it's fantastic.
The source of most of our modernization and improvement comes from the field. This organic, collaborative way of innovating ends up producing machines that immediately create the kind of throughput and quality that have been hallmarks of every MOR machine for 75 years.
So when I heard that Centrum was going to partner with MOR or take over MOR or whatever, I thought, well, there's an opportunity for innovation here. And we ended up sort of entering into some experiments, let's say. I mean, the first machine that we ended up sort of hot rodding an old MOR ringer and putting some spray jets on there, it took a lot of rethinking of what was going on. And I was delighted to have that partnership with the Centrum MOR people to be able to develop equipment that then worked for us.
We transformed the hand-drawn blueprints from MOR's time-saving equipment into CAD illustrations. Our use of the latest computer technologies let us design and fabricate new innovations into these machines with more ease and speed than was ever possible before.